All right, welcome back. We're going to wrap things up with Mr. Al Levron. Then we have the police chief of Houma coming on board to talk about a lot of good things. He's going to be with Lee Lyons of the police department, too. They'll be on the desk shortly, so don't go away. And Al, a few more projects, and we appreciate you coming by tonight. We really do.
Thank you, Martin. I appreciate the invitation. Let me wrap up in the area of drainage because there are a number of other projects that are probably your viewers would want to know about. Savan Road drainage has been a long-standing problem. Recently, there was a contract award for phases 2 and 3, and what that does is it improves the drainage essentially from the convenience store area all the way to the Ellendale South area.
Okay.
Again, I've been here a number of years, and I've heard complaints about this project.
I've been reporting it for a long time.
It has been there, and we hope.
What's the premise of that? How's that going to, I'm not going to say totally wipe it out, but how's that going to help the situation? What's the idea behind it?
Well, Martin, what we found is that back in the day when subdivisions were being developed, there was really no requirement that there be any drainage design. If there was a roadside ditch, that was adequate in the days of the police jury or the early planning commission. And it wasn't until the parish actually enacted storm drainage design manual that gives the engineers guidelines, did a lot of that problem go away. So what we have is a very small roadside ditch expecting to accept flow from large acreage lots. It just can't do it. So the plan here is actually to increase culvert size, put some large diameter culverts as necessary, and convey the water back to what we call Tiger Bayou or Hanson Canal.
Okay.
The 11B project, there are 2 phases of 11B currently under construction. Phase 3A, that is the channel improvements from Bayou Gardens Drive to Lake Homas, which is basically the outlet into the Lake Homas area. Lowland construction is currently 85% complete of excavating that channel. Okay. In addition, there's the culvert crossings further up into the system. LA Contractors is wrapping up on that. 2 other drainage projects of interest is in the Sunrise Gardens area in Dularge. Last year or so, we constructed a ring levee around the subdivision, but we did not address the entrance to the subdivision. Currently, there's a project underway to actually create a ramp, a hump in the road to form the closure of the drainage system. So
similar to what they're going to do on Concord land that we developed with y'all.
Exactly right. You need to maintain transportation, so you could devise a flood fighting plan to where you have to, always have to address that right before a storm, or you design around it, and the building, a hump in the road or an elevated embankment.
Better than bringing a bunch of sandbags.
Well, it is, and plus, we only have so many personnel that we can assign to these jobs, so we can't have 20 locations that have to be involved in flood fight. And there's also a project underway right now in the Summerfield subdivision, the increasing culvert size in the area of Pineland and Jefferson. This has been a long-standing problem. G&W Construction, our local maintenance contractor, is on site on that.
Okay.
And Martin, I'd like to wrap up talking about another grant program that the parish applied for.
Right.
While we were not seriously affected by Hurricane Katrina, there was a grant program that came out of Community Development Block Grant. It's called the Fisheries Infrastructure Program, again funded through the State Office of Community Development, where we submitted a number of applications to provide for safe mooring piles around the community, enhance our boat launches. So there were 3 projects we applied for in excess of $1 million. We were awarded. And the first project is we call Operation Boat Launch. We had to give it a very good acronym. So again, we wanted to increase the capacity of the launches at the fire station in Houma, Texas Gulf Road, which is in Berg, and the Ashland Boat Launch in the Ashland community. Each of those will be, a contract has been awarded. We're waiting for CDBG staff to approve the award contract. In downtown Houma, at the Houma Marina, we've recognized over the years that during a storm, a lot of vessels come to the marina for safe mooring. So we're actually letting a contract to install more mooring piles in that vicinity that will provide an avenue for boats to get out of harm's way.
Okay.
And lastly, in the fisheries infrastructure area, we have a similar project to the mooring in the Company Canal area in Berg. The Company Canal basically traverses right next to Texas Gulf Road. And by the way, that is a parish-owned water bottom. We acquired it in the 1920s as part of the Intracoastal Canal System.
Oh, really?
So,
what about the church?
St. Anne Church,
in
that's
Berg,
correct. It was intended to be part of the Intracoastal, but it wasn't selected as the route by the U.S. Army at that time.
I never knew that.
That's correct.
Okay.
And actually, as another added point, Homa Canal, right where your development was located, but the fire station boat launch,
Right.
same premise. That was in the early 20s. The parish had got together with Robert Ruffin Barrow, and of course he had a canal system. So we were working with him in developing the safest and shortest route between Morgan City and New Orleans.
I didn't know you were a big history buff.
Actually, I'm very much interested in the history.
I got Dr. Chris Sinak's book, by the way. I'm about to start diving into it. There's a lot of
I've seen his display at Nichols.
All right, well, good. We appreciate you coming on tonight, giving us all the projects, and keep us posted as we go along.
Sure, Martin.
All right, thanks again. Once
Thank
again,
you.
Al Levron. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the police chief is on the desk, and he has some information for you, so don't go away. We'll be right back.